In 1992, Donruss produced a set that was different from any other set they had ever produced. The printing quality was better, the cardstock was better, the backs were better. Diamond Kings was no longer part of the normal checklist, but instead was an insert. They continued the Elite series that they'd started the year before. Even the wrappers on these cards were different. But it was still a junk wax era set. Production numbers were very high, inserts were actually very difficult to find, and frankly, there's not a ton of value outside of a few cards in this set. Let's take a look at 1992 Donruss, what made it special, and what the most valuable cards in the set were. The first thing we should point out is that everything about this set is boring, which is a huge change from previous year's Donruss sets. It's not bad, it's just uninteresting, sluggish almost. The blue bar with the team name at the bottom seems to get lost compared to the player name, and the blue bar on the top with Donruss 1992 seems pretty much the same. You hardly even look at the card design, which is not something you would ever have said about Donruss from 1987 or 1991. That said, the paper stock and the print quality were both vastly improved over earlier sets, and even the back was made better on this set. 1992 Donruss was a 784 card set. That's a larger set than 1991 and their biggest to that point. The set also moved Diamond Kings to an actual insert instead of simply being cards numbered 1 through 26 as they had previously been. There was an 8-card bonus card series featuring league award winners and the two new 1993 franchises, the Florida Marlins and the Colorado Rockies. The bonus cards were inserted randomly into Series 2 packs and had the same print run as other cards in the set. 1992 Donruss also featured two parallel sets, the Rookies, which had a green border instead of blue, and Donruss Update, which was inserted randomly into the complete set boxes that were issued. Interestingly enough, 1992 was also the last year that Donruss included a complete set as a purchasable option. In 1992, the Donruss set was also placed in foil packs for the first time instead of wax. Anybody who's opened a Donruss set from, say, 1990 will know exactly how bad the wax sealing was on those cards. Between 1992 Donruss and 1992 Donruss The Rookies, the primary rookie cards are Matt Stairs, Ray Sanchez, Patrick Mahomes Sr., and Manny Ramirez. Now, it's important to note that print run estimates are only that, estimates, but these cards were part of the junk wax era. A good guess is that there were about 2 million of every base card produced. The Elite Series cards, numbered to 10,000, the Rickey Henderson Legends Series, numbered to 7,500, and the Cal Ripken Signature Series, numbered to 5,000, are the most valuable cards in this set. Generally speaking, the pack odds for the Cal Ripken Signature Series can be measured in terms of being 1 out of every several dozen cases, at best 1 out of every 25 cases. The Elite Series set, which had 10 cards instead of 1, and a production run twice as high, was probably 1 out of every 2 cases or 2 out of every 3. Now, let's get to the most valuable. There have not been a lot of changes to this list over the last, say, 15 years or so. All of the players in 1992 Donruss are now retired, and generally speaking, those who were going to make the Hall of Fame have done so, with two notable exceptions. Chances are good if you watch this video in 2030, the most valuable card list will be exactly the same as it was today or in 2020. We'll use PSA 10s wherever we can to show the prices. In a lot of cases, that's simply not possible because gem rates are too low, so we'll use PSA 9 instead. Number 1. Cal Ripken Jr., Rickey Henderson, and Ken Griffey Jr. Each of these cards goes for the low 4 digits in a PSA 10, where they can be found. And these cards are where we can't reliably use PSA 10s because, in the case of Cal Ripken, there are only 5 PSA DNA 10s in the entire universe. The Ripken card gems at about a 2% rate, which is insanely low. I'd guess that if you can find a PSA DNA 10, you're looking at something in the mid to high 4 digits for that card because of the simple rarity of the thing. In a 9, you're probably looking at about $500 for all of them except for the Ripken, which would probably move closer to $800 or $900. All of the other elites go for $55 to $175, like this Frank Thomas, again in lower PSA scores like an 8 or a 9. They simply don't gem well. This card will probably crack a $500 price in a 10. Interestingly enough, the Elite Series cards are all accessible
at an ungraded level, usually for less than $50. Number 5, Frank Thomas Diamond Kings. A prodigious slugger and a big smiler, the Frank Thomas Diamond Kings card goes for about $300. Numbers 6 through 8. Will Clark, Joe Carter, and Wade Boggs will each run you about $200 for a PSA 10 in the Diamond Kings. Number 9. Cal Ripken Jr. Diamond Kings. Well, this is the second Cal card on the list. It'll go for anywhere between $100 and $200, usually closer to 1. Numbers 10 and 11. 1992, the rookies, Manny Ramirez and Pedro Martinez. Once again, the rookies is a separate set, and it uses the same basic design, just green instead of blue. Manny and Pedro each go for a little bit less than $100. Number 12, Nolan Ryan. This card will set you back about $90 in a PSA 10. Numbers 13 and 14. Donruss Update Kenny Lofton and Gary Carter. Both of these cards will set you back about $90. Number 15. Ken Griffey Jr. $40 for the base card. This is one of the most valuable base cards in the set.
And numbers 16 through whenever you want to stop counting, a whole bunch of other really great players like Ryan Sandberg, Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, all of them piled up around $30.
And that's it. No other card in this set cracks $15 with any regularity, even graded at a PSA 10. The print run is simply too high, the grades are too tough, and frankly, there's not a lot of reason to grade most of these cards. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment down below. Did I miss somebody? Did I miss any cards? Did I miss any sales? Let me know. And we'll see you next time.